Wednesday. It's becoming a bit of a kerfluffle.
Yes.
We want to be here.
Stop calling it Tuesday live chat.
I know.
It's not been on Tuesday for like 3 weeks.
I know. Well, it's one of those things where we want to be as consistent as possible, but for some reason my life is just topsy-turvy all the time. And it's hard to like define hard lines with my time. So
yes.
Anyway.
Well, and we do want to get back to Tuesdays eventually.
We really do. Tuesdays are such a great day.
And once, school starts again and life kind of settles down from the summer, we'll be good. Yeah.
Right. It will help. It will help to have regular scheduling back.
Yes.
But also my life is so topsy-turvy that it doesn't really matter if it's winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, and we're homeschool moms, so it's not like we just send our kids to school and have someone else set a schedule for us.
I know, right? I actually was on the phone with a riding stable today, and they said, okay, so you said y'all homeschool, right? And I said, yes. And they said, now, just because you homeschool doesn't necessarily mean that you have like freedom before 3:00 to do things. And I said, yeah, no, it's all me. 100% me, 100% of the time. I feel like my stand here is doing something weird. So I really do dictate 100% of the scheduling, only superseded by my husband's schedule.
Right.
But we still have so much to work through. So it's not like I can just like freely say, oh, we can. It is sinking. That's what's happening here. What is going on? We can't have nice things.
No, I think we should know that by now.
Oh, my stars. Okay.
Well, I came down with a cold yesterday, just for no reason. No reason. Like, I haven't even gone anywhere or seen anybody. Like, I don't know where the heck it came from.
It had to have come from the goats.
Maybe. We did get 2 new goats. There's a video coming about that soon.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
The goats.
Yeah, I have goat fever.
Is that adjacent?
The goat flu. Goat math is definitely a thing. Oh, it's definitely a thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know who's worst about it is Jeff. Yeah.
That adds up.
I'm not the one that's hunting down the listings for goat dolings. He is.
Okay. If you've got a video coming out, I don't want you to spoil any of that for us because,
anticipation.
That's right. We gotta build the anticipation. Is there a direction that y'all are headed with these specific goats?
They are 2 dolings, sisters. And they are a boar goat variety, which is a meat goat.
Ooh, so they can produce more meat goats.
Exactly. So we don't plan on them being meat, but we plan on them having baby meat.
Nice.
Sounds bad.
We're getting the goat.
Babies will grow up before they become meat. Okay.
Hey, it's better than vats of laboratory grown chicken.
That's true. That's true.
Have you seen that? Or at least heard about it? I haven't heard a ton about it, but I've heard little blips here and there, and I'm like,
I have not wanted to even delve into finding out about it.
Yeah, no, I heard a blip of it.
Horrible.
Yeah, a blip of it on a podcast, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then I got derailed, to other tasks and other activities. So I never went and revisited it, but my gut reaction was just full stop. We are not growing chicken in vats.
Yes. The only reason that I would want to know about it is to know how to avoid it.
Accurate.
Like if it was not being labeled or something like that, that's the only reason that I would seek out information about this kind of thing.
For sure. Know thy enemy.
Wow.
Okay, we've had a lot of people pop in the chat. I want to address that really quickly because we tend to get on a roll and then the rest of the chat just sort of passes us by and we're like, wait, come back. Okay, so Chris Bear wins. He wins the prize today. High five to Chris's face. 3, 2.
On the meetup, the Keto Chow meetup, what was it, last Friday or something? I was the first in the live stream because they like start it like 45 minutes ahead of time and it just sits there with music playing. And I saw the notification. I popped in there and I got the first comment and I commented first. So I myself 3 gold stars. And so now Chris gets gold stars. Here, I'll give him some gold stars here.
Good job, Chris. I don't know when you achieved the first comment, but you did it. There are awards of just, verbal nature at this point. So
wait, I'm getting the stars. They're coming. They're coming.
Okay. Joanne is here. Hello, hello. And Risa and Dustin and Rickwin and Jack.
Tiffany.
I did right this time, Jack. Tiffany, hello. And Miss Cindy. And then Scott over at Platte River Keto. Hello, all. Jen Bob, hello. Also a hard no for her on the lab-grown meat. Speaking of meat, the fact that you got the meat goats or the potential precursor to
meat goat mothers. It's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. You're in the building of your laboratory.
Yes. So the way God designed it.
And then the chicken vat. We couldn't do our live stream yesterday because of me. It's always because of me.
I don't do anything.
You did nothing. Perfect angel Nili.
Nothing at all. Stay home and make YouTube videos all day, every day.
All the time. She's available 24/7. She has no like what's the word? I just lost the word. Oh my goodness, my brain is exhausted. And no pressing responsibilities on her time.
Well, it's like no trips. Like we do very few trips we have goats. We have chickens. And we have 5 kids. So trips are hard. Although
are very hard.
I'm just home with 3 of the kids because some other of the family are out on trips. So then I'm like keeping everything under control here.
For sure.
All sanity happening here. Rooms are being moved around. Bunk beds are going up the stairs. Things are being cleaned out. Levi got his own room. Yeah, he moved into the girls' room, their old room down in the basement. He is like, that kid is so funny. He's over the moon. Over the moon. And he's all about like looking cool and having cool clothes. It's like half
you're the
looking
only
cool.
Muffin in the family. You gotta represent.
Obviously. Well, it's kind of half looking awesome and half like being completely filthy and caked in every type of liquid possible.
Tactical clothes are tactical for a reason.
Yeah, but the girls have a shelf for their shoes that we moved upstairs, and he's like, but I need a shelf for my shoes. And so I had a little one of those little like cabinet organizers that's like plastic coated wire, and you like put stuff on top, and you can. So I had one of those, and so we put that in the little corner of his room, and he's got his little shoes all organized.
Listen,
amazing.
A man with style must keep it in order, otherwise he doesn't look stylish anymore. And how can you get your clothes full of pond and creek water if you don't actively have them organized?
Right. Well, he recently because he has 2 pairs of shoes, one dirty shoes and one clean shoes, and like nice shoes. And so his dirty shoes fell apart recently. So we had to move the clean shoes to the dirty shoes and we bought a new pair of shoes yesterday. Ooh. Man, he was so excited. And then he came home and he had to put his little new shoes onto his shoe shelf.
It's a big deal.
So good.
Shoes are really hard. So that just like gave me 17 different segues that we could go down. But the first one, talking about the shoes, we just got my oldest a fresh pair of shoes that has been desperately needed for like, I don't know, 9 months at this point. But the child is one of those kids who, it's not that there are not shoes out there that fit her. There are plenty of shoes out there that fit her. None of them feel right. And so we have spent months trying to replace these shoes that look like, I don't know, they look like they're about to disintegrate into dust. And I'm like, so you're going on another trip and I'm not sending you away with shoes that are going to literally like just have bare foot against the
Mhm.
ground.
Mhm.
And she's like, well, these feel weird. There's like a drop off inside the shoe. And I'm like, a drop off? Are we on Finding Nemo? What are you talking about? Drop off? Well,
Okay.
like there's this little ridge. And I'm like, oh my stars. So I had a conversation with her in the car today because we had run
Mhm.
errands. I said, okay, baby, here's the deal. Not the shoes will not be like perfect and perfectly fit to your foot the first second you try them on. So we are going to go in here with the mindset that just because a shoe doesn't feel right doesn't mean it's wrong. So she
Yes.
tried
Okay.
on, oh my gosh, and shoes are so expensive, like
They
so
are.
so ever loving expensive. So we try on a pair of Nikes, and I'm like, "Ugh, okay, we're doing this. Here it comes. And I'm looking at the price tag, and I'm like, I
Please
would
don't
not.
like these shoes.
I would spend half of this on a pair of shoes for myself, half at most, and my foot doesn't grow anymore. And I'm like, okay, okay. She tries it on. She's like, this one feels pretty good, and I'm like, okay, yep. Let's hold on to those. Let's carry this big box around with us. So we're walking around. And I found like another pair of shoes. I was like, okay, give these a try. And so she puts those on, and they're like half the price. And I'm like, okay. Well, it was like I don't know, like maybe it was 2/3 the price. Does not matter. So she tries these on that are less expensive, and I'm just knowing in my brain like, okay, she's gonna say the more expensive ones felt better. I had no like outward emotion about the cost of shoes, about the style, none of them. I just was blank slate. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Do you like this? Do you not like this? Like very trying to like mask all the things. So then she tries on the lesser expensive shoe, and she's like, I think I like these better. And I was like, oh, praise you, Jesus.
Mhm.
And I said, they really fit better. They feel better. Like, we're good
Mhm.
on these. She was like, yeah, I really like those. I was like, okay, go put the other ones back. And so she went and she put them back. And inside, I'm just like,
Yes.
woohoo,
Oh,
we're
okay.
doing okay.
So I almost literally had the exact same conversation with Renee yesterday because it was me and Renee and Charity. And Charity found like 3 pairs of shoes she loved. She's
That's
got like
mom,
7 pairs of shoes at home.
of
And
course.
Renee has 1 pair of shoes. She will not wear sandals at all, especially the ones with the thing between the toe, the flip
The
flop.
flip flops. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'd rather die. And so we're trying on shoes, and every single one is like, no, it's not, it doesn't feel right. I didn't buy her any because I'm like, I am not going to spend money on a pair of shoes you're not going to wear. You
That's
have to
true.
wear them. And
Yep.
so, and she has like 1 pair of tennis shoes that are completely destroyed. And
Of
she
course.
refuses to wear socks with them. She's like, socks are terrible too. And so they're like the worst, most disgusting shoes ever.
But they're the best
But we didn't
kind
buy
of
her any
shoes.
shoes because she's not going to wear them. I'm not going to spend money on it. And when we're at home, they don't ever wear shoes anyway.
I
They'll
mean,
wear their
that's my kind
boots, if they're really going to walk it somewhere with blackberries or something, but they're barefoot or they have their boots on. That's it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Having the
same
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, it takes time. Like any kind of clothing. My oldest, she's
Yes.
also the most particular about how clothes feel, how they fit. Like she's
Yes.
very like tactily sensitive, I guess. Um,
Yes.
whereas Molly, the middle one, she's just like, I like it all. I want it all. Have
That's
14
charity.
more pairs of shoes because I
Mhm.
need a different pair of shoes for every dress. Also, I'm lacking in dresses because I only have X number of dresses and I
Mhm.
require more.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
here's the thing. You're not the one doing your laundry completely by yourself just yet because you can't reach all the things just yet.
Or purchasing your own clothes.
I mean, she's excellent at everything, but it's just like paring down. She can't make decisions.
Yes.
She's like,
Oh my
I like
gosh.
A, B, C, and D, and I like them all equally, even though they're
Yeah.
entirely different, but all
Yes.
serve the same function. And I'm just like,
Yes. That is
yep,
exactly charity. So like we're moving the girls' room and
yeah.
Renee has like nothing. She keeps nothing. She's the one that hates shoes. She also doesn't like jeans. She will not wear jeans. We were out looking for clothes and
Caitlin.
I was like, these jean shorts are cute. You want those? No, I will never wear jeans. And then so Renee has nothing that we're moving up to the room. Charity's like, I'm like, can you please just get rid of something?
Right.
Just get something. No, but this is so special. I made it that one time with that one person and I love it so much.
And I look at it all the time.
In my pile of stuff that's like overflowing and yeah. Anyways.
Right. I'd be
Kids,
like, if I were Renee, I would start to negotiate some terms as far as her space and be like, so
that's
here's
true.
the deal, Gertie. I have loads of space. What is it worth it?
I will rent it to you.
I'm just saying,
It is
Renee
so
has a
true.
commodity and it's called room.
It is.
Charity
Yeah.
lacks that.
She does. Wow. Okay. It's funny how kids come out different,
Yes.
you know? They're not the same.
Oh yeah, none of the girls. I mean, like they are very similar in a lot of respects, but then you
Yes.
get down to the nitty gritty of it, and you're like, your sister never did that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. Well, so my experience was 4 girls in a row and they were all different. And then Levi comes along and he's just a completely different category. Like it's like all the girls are a different shade of, color and he's just something completely different. He's like a sound. It's like a completely different thing or a whirlwind or something like that.
Fantastic way to describe that. The girls are different shades of colors, and Levi is noise.
Noise. Yeah, it's very true. Noise that likes to organize his shoes.
Hey, listen. That'll carry him far.
Yes.
His future wife
and
thanks you already.
Oh yeah. He's not going to have to worry, or she's not going to have to worry about, him being upset about buying more shoes. He'll be like, "What shoes did you get?"
Keeping track of them and putting them where they live. Like,
yes.
There's a place for everything and everything in its place. Mise en place.
Yeah.
Hands down, sounds like a win for me.
Yeah. It doesn't translate to all of the other things in his room.
Sure, but he's showing that he's capable.
But it is possible. Like he has, he's made a start.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and where do we start with any skill? The beginning.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Commenting. So Vance said definitely a hard no on lab grown meats. Dustin, he likes his meat grown in a field. I'm gonna concur with that. Good morning or good afternoon, Judy. I guess you're in New Mexico, so technically it's noon. No, it's still 11 there, I guess. Yes. Okay. Oh no, maybe I'm confusing myself with time zones. Moving forward. Definitely a no on the lab grown meats, which does bring me back to another point. We talked about there were like a bunch of tangents that I could have taken, and we talked about shoes instead, or not instead, but that's the one I chose. But I want to go back to the meat thing here in a second.
Yeah.
And then Blaze is here. Hello, Blaze. And Charlotte's here. So Jennifer, hey, how's it going? The comment Chris Bear made. The comment Chris made about why don't we just fry them up now and serve them with chips? And I don't know if he's talking about the meat
or the goats?
The shoes.
The baby goats?
The baby goats. Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like there were a lot of options for conversation on that situation. So any sort of directive would be very useful.
There's some good recommendations on where to buy shoes. TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, or consignment.
Yeah.
I should check. I went to Kohl's. I didn't think about like a TJ Maxx or Marshalls. It's so hard. Like Costco doesn't really sell kids shoes at all, or else that's where I buy a lot of my shoes. But yeah.
I find like a style of shoe that I like that fits my foot well. And then I just sort of buy the exact same thing as mine wear out because I will otherwise drive myself crazy with hunting because unfortunately, Caitlin does get her pickiness with clothing, honestly.
Okay, he clarified. It's the drop off. When you're talking about Finding Nemo, why don't we just fry them up now and serve them with chips? That's from the movie.
Check. Okay.
So funny. Fish are friends, not food.
Accurate. Especially shellfish. Not my favorite. Okay. As far as shoes, we found Caitlin's shoes at Kohl's as well. Like that's where we finally found some. We had been going, we've got a couple of shoe stores in our neighboring towns and whatnot. And we have been trying a couple, like this one specific one over and over again. And when we go in, I mean, we're committing hours of our life to this, right? We would go in and I would make her try on every shoe in her size, every single one. Like, I don't care if you like how it looks. If it's a feeling thing, then you don't get to have a choice about the way it looks. And that's you get one or the other. And you can either work on wearing them in the way your foot fits properly and liking the way they look, or you can work on not caring what they look like.
And if you get both things, it's like you won the lottery.
That's right. So we popped over to Kohl's today, walked in, tried on the 2 pairs of shoes, and she liked one pair. And I was like, oh, praise you, Jesus, because I had not been over to that side of town in a really long time. And it never occurred to me like, oh, try the Kohl's. Of course. So that's
where good options. Yeah. We had a lot on clearance.
Yeah.
Not, of course, not the ones that we wanted.
For sure. Yeah. I had plans in my brain, like if we could not find a shoe in town between today and Friday, that we were just going to drive all the way over to Columbus and go to a big mall and look for like some of the bigger stores to see if we couldn't find something that could work. Yeah. And I'm just really glad I don't have to do that. I'm just not a fan of big towns anymore, big cities.
Yeah, me neither.
I definitely like my small town living and then going to visit larger cities, but not when I'm tasked with, you must find this thing.
Right. So. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I do not love going into Portland anymore. And I'm like, man, I lived in this every day for 13 years. This is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can remember driving around whenever we lived in Portland, and it would just be like, there are more people here than I think were ever on the East Coast. Like this is nuts. But also everybody had studded tires over there, and it was the winter time. So it like made it feel like even more like everybody's through the roads, and I don't know. It just felt very intense.
Yes.
All right. Lots more discussion about Finding Nemo.
Yes.
And the jeans.
Just always a great discussion.
Okay. The other thing that sort of my brain segued onto, and I didn't come back to, was you talking about the meat goats and us talking about the container grown chicken. Yesterday, we weren't able to do our live stream because I was in the process of collecting a cow.
Ooh, an entire one?
Minus the skin. And the
That's
teeth.
Amazing. Bone broth.
Well, yeah. So we bought a whole cow. The whole
Amazing.
cow. And
Amazing.
We toted it home on a trailer in 4 coolers because I didn't want just the meat. I'm sure Jared would have been satisfied with just the meat. I also requested all of the bones.
Yes.
And all of the fat so that I could sift through it so I could purify the tallow. And, you can, like, some of that fat is not quite so good for creating tallow, but also if you purify it enough times, it can get there. And so it's I want to go for the full experience. We got all of the organs and we got them separate, not ground into the ground beef. So we're excited about that. The girls are not, and I don't care.
It's going to be amazing.
I think Molly, she popped in and asked, so did we get a tongue? And I said, yup. She said, or maybe it was Caitlin asked, are we going to eat that? And I said, oh yeah, we're eating it. And she was like,
you won't know when.
Well, yes. So yesterday we collected all of this meat. I mean, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And then we hauled it in these 4 massive coolers down to the basement freezer. And my body is achy today because we didn't just take out, 50 pounds at a time and, simplify. No, that was not the game we played. We did it the hard way. And we just hefted it down there. And so we did that. And then I had to process like the bones and the fat pretty quickly because those were not frozen, and we had to reorient the way they were in order to fit them in the freezer, in the fridge. So it was kind of a fun Tetris game yesterday. And then I also started making bone broth and started purifying and rendering tallow. So
I bet your house smells good.
Oh my goodness. Jared popped in and he goes, "Why does it smell like beef?" And I'm like, I'll
give you one guess.
I don't know. So he was like, maybe we turn the vent fan on because it's pretty strong. I was like, okay. But oh my goodness, I rendered down probably 10 pounds of beef fat to tallow and to cracklins. I overstuffed myself on cracklins yesterday, like overstuffed.
Sounds like a good day.
Oh my word. And I finally found like the magic sweet spot for where I like the cracklins. It's like crispy on the outside, but they're still like buttery melty on the inside. And then just like seasoned with all the Redmonds. It was amazing. Amazing. But because of all that, my body is very sore. Because I didn't sit down for more than like, the drive over and the drive back. Okay.
Right.
But that leads me to another segue.
Okay. I'm so glad you have so many things to talk about because I do not. My brain is just.
Well, I'm about to turn the tables for you.
Okay, all right.
So soreness, not like, okay. I was very sore from all of that activity. We went away on a trip and we biked across like around San Francisco. We biked around Napa Valley. So my body was sore from that as well. But I'm not doing an intentional, strength training program challenge the way that you are, although I know the word challenge is dirty if you're talking
about
gosh. But
exercise challenge is totally fine.
Okay. Exercise challenge is
not about food or specific foods.
But only specific, not diversified. Okay.
A dairy-free challenge, totally fine.
Okay.
Beef challenge, totally fine. Yeah. Carnivore challenge, totally fine.
Okay.
We need a list of the good challenges and the bad challenges so we can keep it straight.
Let's give these challenges morality because that's what the issue really is.
Exactly. So certain ones you have morality if you do them, and certain ones you lose morality if you do them.
Okay.
So it's really important.
A morality score. Got it.
I just splashed my coffee on myself and my computer. This is how my day is going. The good thing I have Kleenexes next to me to wipe up the coffee off of my computer.
That's the silver lining to having the summer cold junk.
All right, where were we? All right, you were at another segue.
I'm segueing again. So you're doing this exercise challenge. I'm very sore from being out of shape, apparently. How is your body doing with your 40-day exercise challenge?
Yes. Okay, so yesterday was the end of week 2, and I'm happy to say that I completed every workout from both weeks. It's 5 workouts a week. And the soreness, I was so sore after the first 3 days. Yeah. And then I've been good. Like I'll feel like I feel like I used the muscles, but I haven't been incapacitated. That was the first few days. So I've been really happy with it. And then of course I got sick. So yesterday I was like, why do I feel so terrible? Why do I have a headache? And then I started getting, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I think once I get through this, I'll be good. I did decide to take today off because I was feeling kind of the worst today. And today is, so there was a week-long set of workouts and we're doing the same thing for 3 weeks and then another set of workouts for the next 3 weeks, I think. And so today was day 1 of week 3, which is the same as day 1 that the very first day 1 that was 80 burpees and jump squats and jumping lunges. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm sick. I'm going to take this one. This first time in 2 weeks, I'm going to sit this one out and try to get back on the horse tomorrow.
Yeah. I think it's wise,
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. That was the thought that I was having was health starts with honesty, self-honesty. And you are sick. It's going to not be great. And then you're going to probably overtax yourself to the point where you're just even worse off the next day.
So, right. But then I have to be careful because it's real easy for me to be like, oh, I just don't feel like it today and I need to listen to my body. And then 2 months go by and I haven't worked out. So
right.
it's like a serious balance there where I have
Yeah.
it's the honesty. The honesty can go either way.
Toe the line, but don't cross it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found that there's a certain set of exercises that she'll throw in there called AMRAP, which is as many rounds as possible. So
Okay.
you set a timer for a certain amount of time and you do as many rounds as possible. I found that I don't have the right mindset for that because I'm like, if I go slower, I get to do less. And I'm like, I don't think that was the intention
I don't think so
behind
either.
setting this up that way. It's supposed to be some kind of competitive thing to see if you can get more. And that's not how my brain works with exercise. I'm about efficiency.
I also would find efficiency way better than let me do more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I get benefit from going slower.
That's
Like
right.
I don't understand.
But also like the whole like I'm going to choose to do something that's more efficient and less difficult now means that I don't gain as much benefit later. That whole like
It's like, do I want the benefit of a stronger body later, or do I want the benefit of not working so hard?
do I want to
Sometimes
have
I want the benefit of not working so hard. Actually,
right.
most of the time, I want the
Right.
benefit of not working so hard. Yeah.
Right. Because that
I
harder
have
work
my
is more
mindset about that. Yeah.
and we don't want pain as humans, right? Like
Exactly.
pain is like the number one thing we attempt to avoid. So
Exactly.
not being able to
It
walk
really is
tomorrow.
kind of counterintuitive. Like the whole concept of a structured exercise program that's not like immediately beneficial. Like if we lived in a place where we had to walk 3 miles to bring the jugs of water back home,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm doing it for the water, and you wouldn't do it if it wasn't for the water, you know?
Right.
So like to force yourself to exercise for a longer term benefit goes against our nature, really. So I always prefer like the functional exercise, like when I feel like I'm actually getting something done. It's just really hard to get that targeted exercise
For sure.
with only functional exercise. So I feel like I have to force myself to do the structured exercise, but there is something in me that fights against it where I'm like, this is inefficient. This is
Yeah.
inefficient. I could be getting something done with this
This
exertion.
Yeah.
And like the long-term effect of building muscle, that's in my head, but I don't feel it in my heart.
Yeah. Whereas like for me, helping like my husband and I hauling like almost 700 pounds of meat to the basement
Mhm.
with these, like, I mean, like oh, that didn't feel good. I mean, like, I'm like, man, this is so awesome. Like, I don't even care that it's heavy. Yes, I can barely breathe,
Yes.
but like, we're working together here on this thing, and it's so exciting. And how are we going to make it fit? How are we going to do these things? What am I going to do first? Am I going to get the bone broth going first? Am I going to roast bones so that I can eat the marrow? Am I going to do the fat?
Yep.
Like, what am I doing next? Like, I'm so
Yep.
excited about this thing. I don't even care that I hurt today. Like, I hurt today. So, like, raising of the shoulders hurts, but it was so worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
the water is so worth it to traverse 3 miles to
exactly.
get that. Water is worth it. So
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel
So
that.
I've been working on, the rooms and the bunk beds and all that. And it's like, I have sweated so much. I have lifted so many heavy things. Like I'm carrying pieces of bunk bed
Yeah.
up 2 flights of stairs because they're in the basement and they need to go to the top, and I'm so motivated to do it. And I'm like the last 2 days, like nonstop. That's all I want to do is
Yeah.
get this organized. And I'm lifting heavy boxes and carrying it like upstairs, downstairs. Like I'm doing weight training and it does not feel the same.
Yeah.
Like the motivation it's like I was just taking apart the top of the bunk bed before we got on here. And I was like, I want to get this done before we get on. And I couldn't get it done. And I'm like, now it's sitting there waiting for me. And I'm like, I gotta go get that done. I don't
Yeah.
have that mindset when it comes to doing exercise.
Yeah.
I just don't like,
Absolutely.
not functional exercise.
For sure.
It's
For sure.
frustrating.
I mean, like, I want my clothing to fit me better. I want to be stronger to be able to like help do more things or, you know, be able to
Yes.
go further for longer periods of time if we go on bike rides and stuff like that. But also, it's just like 45 minutes of my day could be spent doing that.
Yes.
Or if I go to the gym, to the YMCA to do a class, then it's like an hour and a half because travel time. And then I feel like, ugh, now I've wasted half a day because, you know, 1.5 hours actually translates to, you know, a full 6 hours of my day, apparently.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
the way things line up, and it's like, how how much more efficiently could I use this time? Oh, I could
Mhm.
definitely do this instead and jam 5 different things in that same amount of time and feel more
Yes.
accomplished than
Yeah.
any other thing.
Yes. Well, and I feel like it's very similar to like choosing to eat a certain way in the food landscape that we have here because in any other time in history it's like if there was a good food, you just eat as much of it as you can. Like cuz
Yeah,
it's just
that's what you
normal.
had access to.
Right, and you would probably end up still being very healthy. You know, it's
Mhm.
like but we live in a time where there's so much and it's such bad quality that if we just follow our natural human tendencies and like our, you know, the signals our brains are giving us, we end up being completely unhealthy. And it's like we have to go against what is internally in us in order to get healthy. Like we live in such a weird time in
Time.
history
Yeah,
because of all of the good things that we have. Like, isn't that bizarre?
it is. It is.
It's
It's
like,
kind of
yeah, we have all these good foods. We have access to every single food in like, you know, all cuisines of the world. We have so many conveniences where we don't have to work. And so then we go and have to put artificial work in to get
overcome that.
exercise and to eat healthy foods and like find some kind of a pattern that mimics like feast and famine or you know it's like what in the world this is so crazy like it's a weird time.
Yeah, it's like technology allowed us to go from physical labor to mental labor, and to make that shift is really difficult because you look at kids and what do they want to do? They want to be physical, they want to play, they want to
Yeah.
like jump off of furniture or, you know, ride a bike. They want to do things. And then
Hmm.
society like has moved so far to where it's like you don't even have to leave your house in order to earn money anymore that it's like how do you
Yeah,
get
or
your
get
brain.
your groceries delivered and like you don't ever have to leave your house.
Yeah, I mean, I do leave my house
Good. Yeah.
because it's good. It's good for us to get out. But you know,
Yeah.
like my middle, she's always like, "So where are we going next? Where are we going next? What are we
Yeah.
doing?" Like she's a
Yeah.
physical kid who wants to go and do. And
Yes.
my youngest, it's like she just wants to lay on the couch. Can I have a show? Can I have a show? And
Mm.
I'm like, oh, this is a problem.
She is my spirit animal.
Good old Lauren. She's a
Oh yes.
such a mess. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
we check our chat.
Maybe. I mean, you know, whatever.
I mean, we'll try. We'll try. So there was lots of Finding Nemo references,
Yeah.
and then shoes. Still talking about the shoes.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so Chris asked this question regarding my cow. It's my beef. A beef. We got
Did you
a
name your cow? Does your cow have a name?
beef.
I saw somebody say that their farm kid named all of their cows and it was great until he named one Granddad.
That
And
was a
so
story
like,
I told you.
oh, was it really? That's where my brain's at.
It's fine. It's fine. You're sick. Just take some exogenous ketones.
Good idea. Good idea.
Um.
Actually,
So
my ketones were 1.1 this morning. I would just like to say
whoa,
I was so happy.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have videos coming out about it soon, so no more spoilers.
Okay, but whoa.
Yeah. I felt
That's
good about
amazing.
myself. Even though my blood sugar was a lot higher the last 2 days being sick.
Yeah.
Anyways, my ketones are still good. Go ahead.
Well, that's exciting. Chris asked that whether or not my cow was processed by the butcher, but I wanted all the stuff, not just the meat. Yes. So when we called up to the butcher, the farmer sent it to the butcher, and we called the butcher and said, "Hey, we want these things." And I think they were a little surprised that we wanted all
Mm.
the bones and all the fat. And I also told them that I want anything that could be a roast. I wanted it as a roast. I didn't want
Oh,
them to grind
okay.
it, because even if like I figure out that, oh, this roast isn't gonna really work, I have a meat grinder, so I
Right.
can grind it and process that part myself.
Yep.
So I'd rather start with as many roasts as possible to then move. And I think the farmer's son goes to church with us, and he said that he recommends eating your ground meat first, because more of it has already been exposed to air,
Right,
and
that makes
so
sense.
it tends to absorb more of those freezer flavors faster
Huh,
than your
okay.
steaks and your roasts. Those, because they're a whole piece of meat, they tend
Mhm.
to not go kind of like funky as fast.
Mhm.
So I was like, valid. Um, so taking his advice, he's a farmer, a cattleman's son. So
Yeah,
I feel like he would have
but
knowledge about that.
mhm.
But no, it was definitely not a whole carcass on the back of our trailer.
That'd be
Uh,
crazy.
when we showed up with 4 coolers, one of the guys from the butcher, who worked there, he came out and he was, "Y'all are really, really serious about your meat." Like, yeah, well, I'm sure probably about 1.5 of these is gonna be bones and fat.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
not quite the meat; it's the whole enchilada. But
Yeah.
um, so
Justin says, "Go poke a bear, run for your life." That's functional. That's true. That's our new workout program that we'll market.
we will, but also I want to know how you're getting that close to a bear.
It's true.
Are you going to the zoo?
That would take some effort also. You probably have to do a lot of walking.
A lot
So
of
it's
walking.
it's an all-encompassing exercise program, like the slow, steady walking, the
Yeah,
sprint,
yeah.
heart rate, all that. Yeah,
But my thought process is, I don't know that you're going to get close enough to a bear to actually poke it and then run. I think it's going to happen way sooner than that. Like,
that's true.
going to be
That's
a greater distance. So you might have a sporting chance
true.
if you're able to wake up the bear or engage the bear in some displeasing way
Yeah.
before.
Well, and then the workout program also probably will produce weight loss because you'll probably lose a limb or two.
Accurate.
So, I mean, it's everything.
Lose 7 pounds in 12 minutes.
5 pounds, that is your blood.
This is the Chase a Bear program. Thank you for calling Chase a
Oh, wow.
Bear. We help
Mhm.
you chase a bear or get chased by a bear.
Wow. Mhm. That's like that's like what those CrossFit workouts are. It's like simulating being chased by a bear. Why do we have to do that?
Right. Let's just go chase the bear. Or what we could really do is start to figure out how to market like the more like hunting an antelope, but not in a way that's like tactical and strategic, where you're up on the hillside with your crossbow or your rifle or whatever.
You
Instead you
just
have
have to
to go
chase
run
them?
and catch it. So
Have you ever watched Andrew Uckel's on YouTube?
uh-uh.
Oh my gosh, he is so funny. He's like Steve
Uh,
Irwin, but
okay.
young and crazier. He's Australian.
What was his last name? Schultz?
Uckel's. UKL something. Andrew Uckel's. I'll see if I can find him and put him in the chat.
Found
But
Andrew Ukulele. That's not it.
no, that's not it.
Oh, here we go. I think
He's
I
so
found him.
funny because he literally does that where he will like tackle an animal and he always like releases them. But he
Sure.
like he catches everything and he's in Australia and he's gone all over the world, but like dangerous stuff. And he's like, settle, settle, settle. He's like holding the thing that's trying to kill him. He is hilarious. One time he found roadkill. It was like an ostrich or some kind of a giant bird. He like got out the insides and he put it on as like like to attract another one, and then he was able to catch it. It's so funny. Yeah.
We're gonna have to look that up. I found his channel.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then
You
I
can't do
found the
that kind of
proper
thing.
person.
Not
How to
surely.
catch a
Hmm.
kangaroo disguised as an emu. I didn't
That's
know
it.
that
That's
kangaroos
it.
wore
Email.
emu disguises, but if you find a kangaroo that is
Oh.
disguised as an emu, that's how you can find you can catch it. That's from 9 years ago.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think his older stuff is better because it was like just him. Now he's got a lot more production value, but
Oh,
these old videos were just fantastic.
persistent hunting man versus animal. This does look interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff got into it. And of course, when Jeff gets into it, we all get into it.
That's the way it is at our house too. Jared starts to
Hmm.
get interested in something, and all of a sudden, we're all just like, "What happens next?"
Hmm.
But if I'm watching something, Jared's like, "Ah,
Yeah.
you watch your thing. It's whatever."
So funny.
Good times. Okay.
Barehanded animal catches is one of his playlists. So
Okay.
I don't think he goes to the gym. I'm just
I'm
saying.
I'm gonna assume
Doubt
not.
he goes to the gym.
I'm assuming that all of his time is spent actually like running across all of these terrain.
Yes, after these animals. Okay, Roxanne says she can't hear us and we're cutting in and out. Does anyone else have that? Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Everybody says the sound on both of us?
that's bizarre. I can hear you fine.
I can hear you fine as well. That's
Okay,
weird.
Dustin and Chris say that they are
Chris
okay with us.
That
Can
is very strange.
Roxanne, can you try to like click out of the link and then come back and see if that sort of like recatches us?
Yeah, that's weird. It was a few people, so that's
Hi,
very
Nathan. I wonder if like the internet hiccuped.
possibly.
Possibly. My internet is always a little bit wonky, so
Mine too.
okay.
Oh,
I
oh,
really
Chris, come on. Uncalled for.
Tiffany said that she is going to the mountains in August and she'll let us know how the
Ooh.
run from a bear goes.
Yeah, well, you either will or you won't.
Right.
And
You'll
we'll
either let
know
us know or not.
depending.
I would think that having some sort of a piece of technology for a distraction purpose, like a drone with some kind of a honey jar attached to it or a picnic
Oh my
basket,
gosh.
might be, useful to draw it away if you have the wherewithal in your mind to be able to fly a drone and run the opposite direction.
This sounds like a great YouTube channel.
I think you're right.
Yes. I
I
think
think
it
it
would be
sounds
very popular. I
fantastic.
don't know how long it would be able to last.
Right. Well, that's part of the intrigue. You know,
I guess so.
that's
I
how
guess
you
so.
get the play button. By
If you live long enough.
if you live long enough. I mean, well, the family can have it if I die
I
first.
guess so. Yeah, you'd still get it. Even if you
Yeah,
died. Death gets views.
that's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Oh my!
Oh,
You don't laugh,
wow.
you'll cry.
That's true. That's true.
Um. Okay. So.
Oh, Sylvia says sound is back after going out and coming back. That's good.
Okay. Excellent.
Only if it's Winnie the Pooh or Yogi Bear. Yeah, that I would
Okay.
do that. We could go hunting for Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I feel like he wants to be caught.
He would be fun to poke as well.
He would be fun to poke. That's not wrong.
I feel like he would make the same sound as the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Woohoo! Okay.
All right.
I know.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Or should we just let the people get on with their day?
I think we could. I wanted to say that I've been listening to the Brotherly Love podcast with the Lawrence brothers, Joey Lawrence, Matthew Lawrence, Andy Lawrence. I've kind of like been listening to them. Boy Meets World, Blossom.
Yes.
Like, okay. So I've listened to a couple of those episodes now, and I just listened to one where Joey Lawrence goes, "Whoa," and I'm like, I've figured out that they are very good at impersonating people's voices really well. And I feel like that would be a super fun game to play at some point in the future. Like, who can you impersonate? But
I can't
whenever I did
impersonate.
the hoo-hoo.
Yeah. That is not one of my gifts.
Oh, come on. Anybody can do it.
Oh, okay.
I told Jared the other day, I was like, you'd be fun to be like a voiceover actor. And he was like, no,
Yeah.
you're not
I
doing
can
it.
imagine
No.
it would be fun if I was good at it.
I mean,
But the idea of trying to do it when I'm not good at it does not sound fun.
well, we had been going through like commenting on how, Americans, we love to like pretend like we can do other nationalities' accents, and it never sounds right. And we just
No.
look like dumb Americans. Well,
Yes.
when we were in Ireland, one of the girls there had like, I tend to like hear dialogue and dialects pretty easily, and I can kind of like mimic them somewhat. I'm still sounding like a dumb American, full stop. But the girl there, she was like, "Oh, you're all on like a staycation," and I'm like, "We're not from Ireland." She was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I don't know if you're trying to flatter us, and like it's a tactic, or if like whatever it was I said sounded the same as what y'all sound like." But
Oh, that's funny.
that's a fun game. Okay, we really
Yeah.
are all done here. We got better at talking to the peoples in the chat.
We did. At least we're winning on one level.
That's right. But now I think Nili needs a break.
I do. Actually, I have to go pick up my chicken feed order. Just not what I really want to do right now. Yeah.
That's your job. You gotta feed the food.
That is really what all farming is. And parenting. Feeding, well, not the food, but feeding the creatures.
Farming is feeding the food.
Yes. So that you can feed it to your small creatures. No, seriously, 98.5% of my life is involved, like food is, that's it.
And that's why we talk about food so much, because it's all we know how to talk about.
And people, come onto our channels and be like, you think about food too much. Yeah. And I'm like,
welcome to it.
Don't people starve? Like that's my entire life.
Yep. Fed
I look forward to a day when it's not. Yeah. I look forward to a day when it, it takes up a little less, and not being a breastfeeding mother does help. I mean, that's like 99.9% of your life when you're breastfeeding mom.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
But anyways, it's nice to come onto YouTube and talk about it, because like that's all I do is food. So at least I can share it.
Right. Well, and the other thing, like when you are in your thick of your day, the people that you are feeding don't want to hear about all of the nuances regarding it. They just want you to feed them so they can go on about their day, not thinking about food. Exactly. And then there you are left with like piles of thoughts about your food. And you're like, how do I get these out of my head? Because otherwise we're going to just sit here on this little Ferris wheel of thought and never move on. So there's that.
So much food. Right.
So much food. Yes. So much food talk. Hey, and we did actually discuss exercise. So I feel like we held one another accountable. At least we were adjacent.
We talked about it.
Adjacent accountability. That's where we are.
There you go. Next week, are we back to Tuesday?
Next week, Tuesday should work for me. The following week, when it's on my channel, I don't know.
Okay. At least next week, we're good.
Okay. Yes. Excellent.
Yep. And next week will be on my channel.
That's right.
In case anyone didn't know that.
Do it. Oh,
yeah. In case anyone didn't know that's what we do, switch back and forth. For now, apparently Chris is going to teach us all the ways of StreamYard, or was that what it was?
I don't remember. It was something.
Yeah, yeah. And so maybe someday we will have it simultaneously on both of our channels.
Someday. And then you have to choose.
I know. See, that's the only thing I don't love about the idea, is that there'd be 2 live chats going.
2 separate live chats. People have to decide, where am I going? What am I doing?
Yeah. But that's the only drawback that I can think of.
Chris is full of useful information. We just don't know if it's applicable yet.
Yeah, it's very true. He
Okay.
has a lot of information.
He
Man.
is a solid substitute for the internet. You can cancel your subscriptions now.
Ooh. Yeah. Instead of Googling, I just text Chris Bear.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. He knows the
Personalized Google. Yeah. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet?
Yes,
I love the Google. The search engine guy. He's so funny. Where he's like trying to predict what you're gonna say. So funny.
I love the Wreck-It Ralph and the Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. I love both of those. They definitely are up there in the Pixar film world for me.
Me too.
They're not. They have yet to break number 1 and number 2 though. But
which ones are those?
I love Wall-E and Meet the Robinsons.
Oh yeah.
Up is also phenomenal. I love Up.
It just makes me too sad. Toy Story is another one for us. That's like
Toy Story is a fantastic franchise within the franchise. However, like I feel like the storyline of Meet the Robinsons is one that just like really, really hits home. Yeah. So it's one of those like, just because you're weird doesn't mean you don't belong here. You do.
Aww. Yeah. Oh man. Ain't that the truth?
I know. All of us are weird. And we have a place. We have a place to belong. So, okay. We will see you next week on Nili's channel on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Get the words right. 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. Y'all have a great week.
Bye, everybody.